When the streetlight shone through the crack in the door, night had fallen on the small alley deep in the old quarter. At the end of the alley was a tiny bungalow where Uncle David, 68 years old, lived with his wife and a small grandson. He used to be a math teacher, retired for more than 10 years. Since leaving the podium, his life has become simpler, more peaceful, but also quieter. Yet there is one thing that has been silently tormenting him for the past few years. Nocturia? I don't know. Since when? I can no longer sleep straight through until morning. He once sighed. Every night, after a few hours of sleep, he would wake up because he had to pee. Sometimes once, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Sometimes he could barely fall back asleep. Every time he had to use a cane to get out of bed, he felt helpless and frustrated. His wife, Wendy, loved her husband but was also helpless. Only knowing to leave a pair of slippers next to the bed and turn on the nightlight to prevent him from tripping. Sleep was fitful, spirit was tired. During the day he was lethargic, had headaches, was unreasonably irritable with his grandchildren. One day, while eating breakfast, he dropped his chopsticks because his hands were shaking. Another day, while telling a story, he stopped mid-sentence because he forgot what he was saying. He was afraid that he was getting old and senile, afraid of becoming a burden to his family. One afternoon, Uncle David sat in a small park near his house, waiting for his grandson to finish school. Sitting next to him was Mr. Tom, an old friend who used to work as a security guard at the elementary school. The two of them had not seen each other for a long time and chatted animatedly. When talking about health, Mr. Tom laughed. "I have to get up twice every night to go to the bathroom. I'm used to it. I'm old. I can't help it." Uncle David nodded. "Me too. It must be because of old age." But at that moment, an old lady who was practicing yoga nearby walked over. Her name was Aunt Jenny, 72 years old, with a radiant face and an energetic voice. Being old doesn't mean you have to suffer from nocturia. You too. That sentence was like a ray of light that flashed through Uncle David's mind. He asked curiously, and Aunt Jenny began to recount her process of fighting nocturia, from changing her diet, doing light exercise, to learning how to relax before going to bed. "I used to suffer a lot. But after listening to the doctor at the hospital, I gradually changed. Now I only wake up once a night, and sometimes I sleep until morning." Aunt Jenny's story gave Uncle David a faint hope. Can I improve too? The next day, Uncle David asked his nephew to help him find videos on how to reduce nocturia in the elderly. Among them, there was a video from Dr. Ben that particularly attracted him. The voice was gentle, easy to understand, clearly explaining the causes of nocturia in the elderly: weakened bladder, decreased antidiuretic hormone, and side effects from blood pressure and diabetes medications, etc. More importantly, the video did not just talk about theory, but also offered specific solutions. Reduce water intake after 6 p.m. Uncle David gave up the habit of drinking milk before bed, instead only sipping warm water if his throat was dry. Eat light at night. No more vegetable soup, watermelon, coconut water, or salty dishes. Replace with lotus seed porridge, ripe bananas, steamed pumpkin. Both warm the stomach and do not stimulate the bladder. Pelvic floor exercises every night, lying on the bed. He began to tighten the pelvic floor muscles, as if holding in urine. Hold for 5 seconds, then release. Repeat 15 times. Suitable sleeping position. He changed his sleeping position to his right side, wearing thin socks to keep his feet warm. Surprisingly, that night he slept straight through until almost 4 a.m. before getting up to go to the bathroom. Relax your mind before going to bed. He learned to turn off his phone, listen to instrumental music, and sit and breathe evenly for 5 minutes every night. His mood calmed down, and his sleep was also more peaceful. After a week, Uncle David felt his body begin to cooperate. The frequency of going to the bathroom at night decreased from 3 times to 2. Then once, he no longer had the feeling of unbearably needing to pee like before. Every morning when he woke up, he felt healthier and more alert. He started taking his grandchild for a morning walk, doing back stretches and muscle stretching. In particular, his wife, Mrs. Wendy, saw that her husband was much happier. This old man now wakes up early in the morning, turns on soft music, rubs his stomach, and practices breathing like meditation. She jokingly said. Uncle David also shared his experience with the elderly in the neighborhood. Some were skeptical at first, but then tried it. After a while, the group became a self-proclaimed goodnight club, and every morning when they met, they bragged that they only had to get up a few times last night. Once my grandson asked Uncle David, "Grandpa, are you cured yet?" He smiled and stroked my hair. "It's gone, thanks to you exercising, eating right, sleeping right, and thanks to me too. I didn't use sleeping pills, didn't spend money on expensive medical checkups, and didn't miraculously recover in one day. But with perseverance, understanding, and taking care of myself from the smallest things, I overcame Nocturia, something that had haunted me for many years. Now, every night passes in silence, without the sound of slippers clicking in the middle of the night. Without the flickering light of the bathroom, only the sound of steady breathing, peaceful sleep, as a reward for a journey of living a healthy, active life in old age. Uncle David's story is not only a journey to overcome Nocturia, but also a gentle reminder. Old age is not the end, but another journey that requires us to love ourselves more.